Human beings are not rational. Human beings eat too much. For example, I do. I'm diabetic, but I still eat sugar. It's not rational. We probably have relationships with people we shouldn't. So we don't do things in a logical and rational manner.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you. Could you please repeat what you said?
We are far more complex than that. Sorry, folks, my phone here just... Anyway, putting my phones down here. I'm only going to go for a few minutes. And this one says I only have about 2 minutes left on my thing before I head up to work, or probably wrap it down. So we're entering into a political situation right now that is very contentious, and human beings simply do not want to listen to one another. We're doing a lot of time talking at each other and not to each other. And this is on both sides. And, I am guilty of that myself. I probably talk at people and not to them, and want to make points, even if they want to hear it or not. I do see, and that's not very stoic. I'm not always, I try to think first and try to rationalize. But I am a human being, and sometimes I feel the need to speak. Not as much as I used to. I'm far more guarded and less outspoken than I used to be. Although there are times, particularly recently, since these protests and riots have unfolded, there is a large part of me that wants to express my opinion, even though at times it may not be the safest and best thing to do. I know it's sometimes good to keep your cards close to your vest, but sometimes you have to, sometimes for me anyway, I have to show my hand. This is going to be kind of perhaps a rambling video on some of my thoughts. I don't have a lot of time. I do have to be somewhere, so it's not going to be as put together as possible. So I'm going to go off a certain topic and this or that. I hope Joe kind of responds to it like he's done before. I really enjoyed that. I did talk about slavery and chattel slavery, and I think I made the misquote of saying that it was 2015 that has been that word chattel slavery has been invented or used, and I misquoted myself. It's been popularized, and this is just my perspective. Chattel slavery has been popularized to uniquely the belief that of American slavery, which they're trying to make American slavery, or the slavery that Europeans did, is far worse than what other groups did. It's kind of it seems like a guilt thing that people are trying so they can extract benefits and gain power and control, to make people of European descent feel bad about themselves. It could be wrong, and there is a possibility that I guess American and the way Europeans practiced slavery was worse than any other. I don't know if you can really come to that conclusion or really prove that. Maybe you can. But it's good to have a discussion with people. It's good to talk to people and hopefully human beings can be open-minded to hear what other people have to say. And one of the problems I see right now is that people are not very open-minded to people with dissenting opinions. And that seems to be much more of a problem with the left than on the right. I also wanted to mention that Tim Pool just talked about an incident in Omaha, I believe it was Omaha, Nebraska, where a bar owner defended himself from a chokehold and he shot the person, and they went and prosecuted him anyway. He ended up committing suicide, from my understanding. And yeah, there seems to be a real vindictiveness and nastiness to the left that I guess should be perhaps troubling. My emotions tend to guard, my thoughts and what I'm seeing and what I'm observing. Like I said, the talk of justice and what is right and what is correct is a conversation. It's not shouting out slogans. And I believe a lot of this has to do with ego. And I could say on both ends, but one end is more likely to listen than the other. I think the right wants to have a conversation and the left seems to want to censor. And there was a time when it was the reverse. It was the left that wanted to have the conversation. The left used to be champions of freedom of speech. I remember when 2 Live Crew came out with their She's So Horny, and people tried to censor it. They said this is destructive to our society. And someone had basically put a, had a poster with a white hand going over a black mouth saying censorship is un-American. It might have been censorship is un-American or censorship is unpatriotic. But yeah, I mean, they believed that censorship was the left believed, hey, censorship is not a good thing. And now they are the most censorious group and forcefully censorious. And they have control of the establishment. And like I said, it's kind of like the movie Viva Zapata, when the first part of Viva Zapata, he's asking questions of the leadership or the person that's in charge, and they ask what his name is, and the person in charge circles his name, and then when Viva Zapata is in charge, and this is the movie with Marlon Brando, I don't want to go into the history of who Zapata really was, but when Brando's in charge, or Zapata is in charge, he's being questioned. And he asks what that person's name is, and he begins to circle his name. And it's kind of like all of the things that they've accused others of doing, of censorship and the like, they are doing themselves. So it's a kind of a case of monkey see, monkey do. And yeah, it does seem like hypocrisy. I could be wrong. And if you think of anything that I said that was wrong, I really would like a comment. I mean, I don't mind. Well, look, personally, I want everyone to like what I say. But if you don't like what I say and you disagree with it, and vote thumbs down, I would love to know why you're voting thumbs down. It's just, why is that happening? just curiosity. Anyway, this is Brian with Transparency and Merit. Hey, like and subscribe and share this video if you think it's interesting and has something to say.